Oh my gosh, it's been like 2 weeks since an update. So on this episode, we're showing you why standalone fuel management system, standalone engine management systems are so expensive to install, and what we're doing with the fuel system on the Lightning. So stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed the update. On the Lightning, we're finally making progress on. So we are deep into the Lightning project. We're still waiting on parts. It's been forever getting parts, but that's what happens when you order a lot of custom stuff at one time. What'd you do?
It's just fuel.
It's just fuel.
We got fire extinguishers.
Good thing there's no smoking in the shop.
Yep. So today we're adjusting the fuel system, as you saw. So in the Lightning, there's 2 tanks. Now this one says that tank, we'll call it tank 2, was empty. That's what the fuel sending unit said. But that is tank 2. And she is to the top full. So we're not sure how old that fuel is. This is the primary tank. And this one said it was empty, which it pretty much is. It maybe has a gallon or 2 in it. So that one was actually working properly. That one certainly was not. We ordered a replacement tank. Tank 1 is going to be replaced with a sump fuel cell. So it's going to go in the stock location. Still going to use the sending. We're not going to use this fuel pump anymore. So the wiring for the fuel pump will be dead in here. But it's going to go in this location. We're going to paint all this because it wasn't painted when they did the truck. And it's going to be sumped, and then we're going to run all new fuel lines all the way down. So we're currently removing all the stock fuel lines and evap stuff. The sump tank, we're going to run that. We're putting a Weldon fuel pump in it. We're putting 4 fuel filters on it, a 4 regulator, lines, trick flow rails, 42-pound injectors, blah, 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 all that stuff. And we're going to hopefully eliminate tank 2, as it clearly was not being used anyway. Tank 1 is 18 gallons. I think that's plenty. And then that'll also help us with the exhaust, because the headers are going to come back, and then we're going to put a custom dual exhaust. We'll probably put a cross member between the 2 underneath the trans here, and we'll run it just like a Mustang. We'll have it come back, we'll have the muffler kind of where this one is, equivalent on the other side, and dump it down at the axle because that's what he wants on it. So that's what Dan and Tone are working on, pulling the fuel system and all the evap stuff off. So we gotta pull these lines. We're gonna leave this bracket here because we might use it to follow the same thing, up and out. And then we've already removed a lot of the emission stuff like the smog tank. This line's gonna come off. There's still a return fuel line in here that we got to take off, and some miscellaneous stuff. The tank is full as hell, but we have an automated pump thing. So she's pumping fuel out. We're gonna have to do this like 3.5 times, and at 150 liters per hour, it's like a half hour worth of fuel. Let's do the math on this. It's not quite at 14.4 volts. We know that. At 12 volts. We're probably at like 100 liters per hour. What's liters to gallons? Come on. We're gonna Google this. Turn your music down. Liters to gallon.
Oh my God.
So 100 liters. 100 liters is 26 gallons. We have half that, so we have 50 liters at 100 liters per hour. So yeah, we're at a half hour. It takes us a half hour to pump the tank empty.
Without stopping to empty the can.
And then a third of that, so 10 minutes to fill that thing. Roughly. I mean, hillbilly, what's that equation where you like put them all in like a lattice, and then you like cross out the like terms? Stoichiometry. Using hillbilly stoichiometry, we have come to the conclusion it's going to take us 10 minutes per tank. Now, in the next tank, we will actually time it to see how accurate we are. All right, so we are testing our hillbilly stoichiometry. So right now, we have been about 5 minutes. Are we roughly halfway?
We are pretty close to halfway.
Close.
Pretty close.
Close enough for hillbilly stoichiometry.
That's right. Something like that.
We did upgrade to a larger battery because we thought that other one changed the pitch of the fuel pump. We thought it was dying, but this one sounds exactly the same. So, and based on the numbers she's putting out, she's gonna pump out 5 gallons in about 10 minutes. Then once we get to the full 5-minute mark, we'll do backwards hillbilly stoichiometry. We'll figure out exactly how well this pump is pumping and how much it's rated at, and then we'll figure out the voltage of the battery at which it was pumping it, because we'll know.
I think we'll probably be eating dinner by then.
Well, that's gonna be our dinner conversation. Mathematics. Danny's outside waiting for us to go to dinner. She doesn't know that we're pumping fuel out here.
She's the MVP.
She's the MVP. She's had Timothy O'Toole's 3 nights in a row. Shout out Timothy O'Toole's. Delicious. If you guys want to send us some gift cards, we will gladly accept them.
We're there 2 to 5 times a week.
We are there 2 to 5 times a week. I mean, if you subscribers want to send them to us, we'll put the address in the comments below. You guys can send us Timothy O'Toole gift cards. They go to a good cause. We're getting ready to shut her down. We're coming down to the wire here. There's the fill line. What's our timer?
10%.
We're at 10?
Just past 10.
Just past 10-minute mark. We're almost there. We're gonna let her get to a healthy full.
I mean, I'd say that's accurate right there.
All right, yank her. 10:16.
With
Birthday.
15 seconds for swapping the batteries.
10 minutes on the dot.
10 minutes on the dot. No big deal.
Beautiful. Part 2 of this episode, let's talk about why EFI standalones are expensive to install properly. So this is the underhood fuse box. This is the distribution from the body. So all the controllers. This is the trans controller, so we have to tap into this. This is where it would normally go to the PCM, but really nothing's going to the PCM because the PCM doesn't exist anymore. So we're going to, this is for the rear ABS, which we're still going to try to use. And then this wiring is to go to the position sensor for backup lights, neutral safety switch. This is and then these 2 wires are needed for reference to control the trans controller, the Quick 4 trans controller. So that gray and blue tie into this gray and blue. This one is to control all the solenoids, which they give you all one. So we've already eliminated everything that this is going to delete. Over here, it's sitting in this pile. Ground and power are staying as is. We just took off some junk. We got that. Then this is everything that we have to tie into the car. The single one is a vehicle speed sensor. Then everything else is to run it. So whether it's tax signal, look at this, oh, they're even labeled, how nice. The important things that are in here are speed, TPS, power, ground, tax signal. That's pretty much all this one's going to use. There's a ton of options you can use with the Quick 4. You can put push button shifting. You can do all sorts of goofy stuff. But this is a stock E40D, and we're not going to punish it that hard at this point in its life. So we're only going to use the essentials that it needs to communicate with the Holly to work properly. So I've already got the trans harness 80% complete. I got to figure out what's going to tie into this before I completely eliminate it and strip that down the rest of the way. And then this one's probably about 70% complete. I have the leads for the coolant temp and oil pressure on the TAC, or on the gauge cluster. I have a TAC signal wire in here. I got some miscellaneous gauge wiring. And now I'm starting to figure out what is done and what is not. So I can start zip tying it back together and re-loom it. And then we're going to throw it into the car to mock it up and make sure what we want to work still works. And we haven't even touched the Holly HP out of the box yet. So that's how much work is involved to just get started and eliminate the engine control module and the PCM out of it before moving on to swapping it over. Now a lot of people would just leave the PCM in it, tap into the few wires that you may want to use, and it just kind of piggyback the Holly HP into it. I like this way. It's a much cleaner look. You get to go through the harness, make sure everything's clean and done. It's obviously a little bit more pricey and much more time consuming, but when it's all said and done, it turns out like the red car. If you guys haven't seen the red car, check out the link above. But there's like 3 factory wires in that engine bay. There's gonna be a little bit more on this car because it still has AC, cruise control, all that stuff is still intended to work. But It's gonna turn out really, really nice. So that's it that I wanna share as far as an update so far. Watch the rest of the episode. We'll give you guys one more update on how far we get everything stripped down. And I just wanted to bring you guys something so you know what we've been working on over the last couple weeks. Also, if you have been following, you know the white Cobra's here. That has been dropped off at Wisconsin Race Cars. That they're working on the cage. So that car is temporarily gone for the next couple weeks. You will not see an update on that vehicle. So smash subscribe, hit the bell to make sure that when that car is back, you'll get updated. Same with the Lightning. And the next episode on the Lightning, we're tearing apart the 351. Heads, cam, intake, we're throwing everything at this top end. Stock bottom end is gonna outlive what we need it to do. And, oh, what's that there? Oh, not going in the Lightning. But anyway, we're gonna tear that down. We're waiting on the engine parts there as well. But you guys will see that in the next video, tearing that down, putting it back together. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, we appreciate your viewership. Comment down below, give us a thumbs up, and make sure to tell your friends to subscribe to the channel as well. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Guys, I was gonna close out this video by ending with just showing you how stripped down the Lightning and the wiring harnesses for the Lightning project, but I figured I might as well show you that we are getting the engine torn apart also. I've already taken the accessories off, the exhaust is off, some miscellaneous emission stuff is gone. What I'm gonna do next is remove the water pump, valve covers, intake manifold, and start taking the top end down. So I just want to show you guys that we are tearing into this. There's not much to see at this point. There's nothing exciting. It made the horsepower we were expecting. It had good compression. You guys will see the next video of all the goodies that we're going to put on it. You'll see it painted, cleaned, and ready for reassembly. So thank you again for watching. Smash that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.